Welcome to Moose Plays, everyone. I'm the Liquor Moose, and today we will be going over my Week 6 match of the 8th season of the GPC. This week we are up against Ben AKA ShinySableye, coach of the Baltimore Oriolus, the best team name in the league. Please go check out Ben. His link will be in the description below, as well as links to all of the coaches in the GPC this season, so you can watch the full league in its process and get a lot of draft league content. As far as the history of this match goes, we're not doing so hot. Obviously, we're 1-4 currently, with coming off a pretty bad loss to Josh. So we're looking at bounce back with a really big win this week, and it starts with watching my team builder. But anyway, before I talk about that, this is an interdivisional match, so if I'm not already mathematically eliminated from playoffs, I basically need to win out to win. But because this is interdivisional, it doesn't matter as much because the leaps aren't going to be as big, pretty much unless everyone else in my team, in my division, loses and I win, and that's pretty highly unlikely to happen, but not impossible. But anyways, on to this match. If you want to know specifically what I'm bringing for my team, go watch my team builder. I will link it in the description below. But just for a quick overview, we have Pixie Plate, Whimsicott with 4 attacks, Choice Banded Weavile, 4 attacks, Dual Status, Specially Defensive Registeel, a Mixed Defensive Uxie with Knockoff, U-Turn, Toxic, and Memento, and then we have Dragonium Z, Dragon Dance Haxorus with Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Superpower, and then we have Rock Polish Life Orb Landorus with, with Earth Power, Sludge Wave, and Rock Slide. Looking at what Ben brought to the table, he brought the Sandslash, the Alamamula, the Jirachi, the Emboar, the Mega Diancie, and the Kyurem Black. No Tornadus T is huge, as that thing was looking to be a huge pain in my ass. But other than that, there's not too many surprises. I highly expect that Sandslash to be AV for my for my Manectric. And then as far as his Alamamula goes, I'm not too sure. It's probably just going to be like a fat Wish Passing set. As far as what kind of defense it'll be, I am not too sure. I guess it can take special hits relatively well from Landorus if it's specially defensive, but I'm not too sure at this point. Scarf Jirachi, definitely. Kyurem could be anything, could be AV, could be Life Orb. Mega Diancie, pretty standard, and I'm guessing, I guess it's probably Scarf Emboar, just based on like what's good against my team. But anyways, as far as the lead matchup goes, I'm thinking he either is going to lead with the Sandslash, the Jirachi, or the Diancie, basically just to get up rocks. So in either of those cases, Whimsicott is a very good lead on my part. If it goes for, if I lead Whimsicott and he leads Sandslash, then it's a good Giga Drain. And then for the other two, I have, for Jirachi and Diancie, I have very safe switch-ins into my Registeel, so I'm just going to go ahead and lead with my Whimsicott, as we do see that Ben leads with his Sandslash now. As far as this turn goes, my browser where we were playing on was being really laggy, and was basically just like cutting me in and out and in and out. So I had the original plan of, you know, if you led with Sandslash, I'll Giga Drain first turn, but because it took a little bit for me to like get reconnected back into the game, basically, that was the only thought I put into it. Was just, if he led with Sandslash, I can Giga Drain, see what its defensive investment is. Not thinking that, okay, yes, he's AV, but not thinking that Sandslash just gets Poison Jab and it straight OHKOs me. So, first off, yes, it's great. We found out that the Sandslash is max specially defensive AV, but it's a little frustrating when every week I craft a good UC set for the match, and then I just waste it. It's happened so many times this season, and I'm kind of frustrated at myself. But anyways, the one good thing is that we know what specific investment this Sandslash is and what its item is. So this is a very easy switch into my Weavile, and the Icicle Crash is very obvious, so I'm just going to go for the knockoff instead. Predicting mostly the Jirachi, but he does go into his Alamamula, and I crit him and knock off his Rocky Helmet. So as far as the crit goes, I think out of anything to get crit, the Alamamula is definitely the best thing, only because it can switch out and get Regenerator back. So as far as that goes, not too much to say about that, especially if it can also pass Fat Wishes to itself. So as far as that crit goes, I really don't think it matters. It was just, it's just one of those things where, you know, hacks adds up and then it can get kind of tilting. So I mean, it's whatever, honestly, in this case. But anyways, looking at this turn, again, Knockoff is a roll to kill from here, and I do expect him to switch out, predicting an Icicle Crash, which would be stronger, but I'm just going to go into the Knockoff again because I am band blocked, but he doesn't know that. So I'm just going to go for the Knockoff again instead of trying to switch on this Alomomola, and I'm going to get a nice chunk on this Emboar and knock off its Choice Band. So that's a thing. That's a thing that happened. So really glad that knocked the Choice Band off, because that would have been a really big wall breaker for my team to try to deal with, especially with the specific defense investment that I have with Yuxi. But anyways, speaking of Yuxi, I think this is a pretty easy switch from Weavile into this to tank the most likely incoming Flare Blitz. As I chew it up, alright, I mean, it's a 3-hit KO, it's not a 2-hit KO. I do expect him to switch out here, so I'm just going to make the safe U-turn. As Ben goes into his Alomomola, and I'm going to go into Registeel. And now, here I was like on the fence between whether I should Toxic this or get up my rocks for free. I figured I'll Toxic this to try to get this clock on, because otherwise this Alomomola is going to be a huge pain in the ass. So I do just go for the Toxic, and as we saw, he goes for the Wish. Now here, looking at his team and what wants to get the Wish, it's pretty obvious that he's going to try to switch into Emboar. So I have one of two options. I could get up my rocks for absolutely free, or I could try to offensively pressure the Emboar with my Haxorus on a switch. The only problem with that is Haxorus with Earthquake cannot guarantee Oko Emboar, even though it's a relatively high roll. I still I just didn't want to take the pressure, and then I just didn't want to take the risk and then ultimately lose my Haxorus, because if you watch my team builder, Haxorus like bodies his team. So Haxorus is a really big win condition. Yeah, basically it's a really big win condition that Ben's team has a very hard time switching into. So I'm not going to risk that, and instead I'm just going to get up my rocks for absolutely free. As we see, he does switch into the Emboar here, and these rocks are going to be key because since Kyurem takes 25% on entry. Now, since the Emboar is back up from full, I am just going to go into my Yuxi, as it is by far the best thing I have to tank Flare Blitzes. And I'm just going to let Yuxi go down here, as after all the Flare Blitz recoil, now it is guaranteed in range of Earthquake from my Haxorus, as I'm going to switch out here. Now also here, I figured that he would try to save this. In hindsight, the Emboar without the band doesn't really do a whole lot, especially since it's pretty slow. So maybe Dragon Dancing here was a wrong play, but I still go for it in the odd case that he does switch this out. As I go here, another thing is that he cannot kill me whether he's Jolly or Adamant, only outside of a crit, as he does go for the superpower here and I get my Dragon Dance up. But now here I'm just thinking like, oh no, what if he has Sucker Punch? And basically, because the thought that he could have Sucker Punch went in my head, it was kind of a 50-50 here of whether I wanted to attack or play Dragon Dance Mind Games. But in the end, I decided that attacking what's in front of me is going to benefit me overall, because if my Haxorus does go down, then I can revenge this with the Landorus. So I do just go for, as he obviously the Landorus, because he has actually no ground resist on his team. But yeah, I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake, and he does not go for the Sucker Punch, so Emboar down, and we are slowly climbing our way back into this game, as he does go into the Jirachi, and that just screams that he is Choice Scarf. So I just go into my very safe switch in, which is my Registeel, and as we see, that Iron Head does, basically nothing. Two leftover turns will fully fix it up, and I was expecting him to go into Sandslash here, actually, to try to spin away the rocks, as it's crucial for his Kyurem to remain healthy. But as we see on my Toxic, he does just go into the Alomomola, which is still a good play as it blocks the potential Toxic that I could have launched. Now here, I'm going to try to go into my Haxorus here again and try to set up, only because 2 Scalds, he would need 2 max rolls on, actually, Scald can't 2-hit KO me, that's what I'm trying to say. So even if he Scalds there, my Haxorus can survive 1 hit and then get a free Dragon Dance off and then be a +1 again. However, as we see, he does just go for the Wish, and me not wanting to either get this back to a bunch of health or to get the Sandslash back a bunch of health, I'm going to fire off my Z move, as my Z move does guarantee kill both the Sandslash and the Aloe from here, but regular Dragon Claw wouldn't kill either, actually. So I am just going to fire off the Z move here, as this is very clearly the best opportunity for me to do this, and down goes his Alomomola. And once again, we are back in this game. After being quickly down 2-0, we have brought it back. It's 4-4 now. Now here he goes into his Diancie, and once again, I have a very, very safe switch into my Registeel here, as even Earth Power does not do a whole lot. And this is probably the freest Iron Head of my life right here, as it guarantee OHKOs the Diancie, and he's just going to go into the Sand Slash. And I'm going to get a decent chunk onto it. And here, I do expect him to Rapid Spin, so I'm going to go into my Weavile to basically try to get a free kill after he Rapid Spins, but he actually goes for the knockoff, and he crits me and knocks off my band. So, some return crits from my crit on the Alomomola before, but hey, nothing, like, you know, it's whatever. It's part of the game. But here, I'm going to go for knockoff here because, again, Icicle Crash is very obvious on my part, and his only ice resist now is the Jirachi. So I'm going to go for the knockoff here because even without my band, only the lowest 3 rolls do not kill this Sand Slash from here. So I'm willing to risk this roll, as I think the only thing that he can do to kill me would be Earthquake, and that is even still a roll. So I'm just going to go for the knockoff, and Ben just lets his Sand Slash go down here, which is a good play on his part, as his Scarf Jirachi is really the thing that needs to bring him back into this game, as he does just go into that. But I'm not playing around with this once again. I'm just going to go into my very safe Registeel here, as he does go for the U-turn. And once again, that just doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and Ben goes into his Kyurem here. Now me, not knowing what exactly this Kyurem is, since Kyurem does have a lot of viable sets, I basically deem that Weavile is my most expendable member, and because of that, basically the reason for that is if I can keep my Registeel alive, then I can Thunder Wave the Jirachi, so it's slow enough that my Landorus can revenge kill with Earthquake, and then I need Registeel alive as well for the Diancie, because it's basically a hard wall other than Earth Power. But like we saw, Earth Power is like a roll to 3-hit KO, I think. But yeah, so I deem Weavile my most expendable member, and I'm going to go out into this here to try to scout what this Kyurem set is going to be. And like we see here, he is actually a substitute set, so we still don't know an item. So here, the only thing I have that can, since I lost my choice band, the only move I have here that can guarantee break the sub is actually Low Kick, which deals a decent amount of damage. So I'm just gonna go for the Low Kick, break the sub, as Ben reveals the Earth Power here, and I live on a sliver of health. And he reveals that he has Life Orb, so very good information for me. Now I don't remember the exact. I don't remember the exact rolls, but I think Low Kick, but I don't think Low Kick was a guarantee kill from here. I think knockoff was a roll as well. So I'm going to go for the knockoff in case he does want to try to block an ice attack, as Jirachi is his only ice resist. So I'm going to try to go for a knockoff, as honestly my main priority is to slow down this Jirachi somehow, by either knocking its item off or by Thunder Waving it with Registeel. So me basically trying to over predict him switching into Jirachi, because Jirachi is very clearly what he needs to win this game. But I just need to slow it down, so I'm going to go for the knockoff here. But Ben actually switches out and goes into his Diancie, so knockoff not going to do a whole lot of damage to this, as it is resisted and it holds a Mega Stone. But here, I'm just going to go for... I'm perfectly fine with letting Weavile go down, because like I said, looking at the rest of my team, Weavile is my most expendable member. I'm just going to go for Icicle Crash to get the most damage off, and I unfortunately don't kill him. It was a roll to kill, and I flinch. So yeah, more hacks in my favor. I think just the RNG gods, like, trying to make up for what they did to me in week 4. But ultimately, like, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much, only because if he does kill the Weavile here, I still have a very, very safe switch into my Registeel, and then I either kill it with Iron Head, or I pressure the Diancie out, and then it dies to rocks when it comes back in. So, regardless, he's gonna stay in, as I go for the knockoff, as that's like clearly the best play, and he lets his Diancie go down, and he's gonna go back into his Scarf Jirachi, and once again I am just gonna go into my very, very safe play, which is my Registeel, as he just U-turns out into his Kyurem, and this is an easy Iron Head here because it's going to kill from here if he doesn't carry Roost, but as we see here, he does carry the Roost, so Iron Head does a decent chunk, but enough to where he can Roost off the damage. Now, me here, trying to catch him on another Roost just in case, because Iron Head can kill from here, I'm going to try and Toxic him, basically just to try to get something going, but as we see here, he does go for sub. Like, the Toxic play was just so he couldn't try to Roost stall me out. But yeah, after this substitute play, I have to click Iron Head to try to break the sub, but I think Ben just has a little brain fart or something, because with him being underneath 10%, he goes for the Earth Power and kills himself to Life Orb. So even though he's behind a substitute, the Kyurem Black goes down. So yeah, it's just Jirachi versus the world, and with my Registeel out here, it's basically GG, because all I need to do is not get flinched once by Iron Head, which from how little damage Iron Head already does to the leftovers recovery I'm getting, it's going to be a pretty easy to Thunder Wave this eventually. So I do get the Thunder Wave off, luckily, on the first try, and yeah, now I can just go into my Landorus, which can live any hit now that I know he's locked into Iron Head, and he even gets a crit here just to try to throw some salt in my eye, and I Earth Power here, and yeah, that's the game. So GG to Ben. It was very well played, and yeah, so that big loss that we had last week, not totally erased, it's still in my memory, but as far as what it did to my differential, it is totally erased. We got a big 4-0 win. And yeah, the Toronto Razor Leafs are 2-4 right now. Hopefully, looking to climb back a few more wins, to even if we don't make the playoffs, to just for pride, honestly, because this game was a huge confidence booster. But yeah, as far as the flinch on the Diancie, as we can see here, it really would not have made a difference, because yes, it would have killed my Weavile, but again, I have a very safe switch into my Registeel, which either kills it with Iron Head, or Ben switches Diancie out, and then it dies on the next entry to rocks. So yeah, ultimately, I don't think too many of the hacks mattered in this game, but again, it's just even the small hacks add up, and then it leads to players being tilted, and then it's honestly just nice to have a clean game. But hey, it's Pokemon. Hacks are expected to happen. What can we say? But yeah, huge confidence booster. And yeah, next week we are going up against Jacques, who coaches the Dunferm Linoons, and that'll be a tough game, because that's going to be our last interdivisional game, but Jacques is also the top of his division currently, so it's going to be a very, very tough game. But yeah, again, GG to Ben. Make sure to go check his channel out in the description below, and yeah, keep your eye out on the channel for next week's Team Builder, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.